Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network. Can I just say, too, this strikes me
Glass onion
almost every
billionaire.
day, beyond what an incredible traitor he is. Trump is just so stupid. Just like Anthony Scaramucci, all the people that worked with him. He said of NATO, he said he wanted out in 2016. He didn't like the treaty in 2016, so he told everybody during the term if he got reelected, he'd do everything he could to pull us out of NATO. He doesn't really understand the treaty. No one's actually ever sat down with him to explain the treaty. But to really understand him, you can't explain something to him because he doesn't want to appear that he doesn't know something. He doesn't want to be lectured by anybody. So he doesn't know anything, Malcolm. That's one of the most dangerous
This what I wrote
things.
about this
Except what
extensively.
Putin tells him.
I know about this. I wrote about this extensively in Plot to Betray America, where he sat down with the Prime Minister of Sweden. And Prime Minister of Sweden says, well, we're not in NATO. We just train with NATO. And he goes, that's what I want to do for the United States. I want to withdraw us, and then we'll train with them if we need them. Jens Stoltenberg, the Secretary General of NATO, in his first meeting with Trump, suddenly realized Trump thought NATO was an economic treaty.
My God.
Like the G7. He did not know it was a defense treaty, a mutual defense treaty. And even after explaining it to him, he still would not accept that it was a defense treaty, not an economic pact. The man is a moron.
Okay, so I did a quote earlier that we are going to take America without firing a shot, right? But we will do it from within. Nikita Khrushchev, right? And it just and this headline, emasculated Lindsey Graham shredded by critics for latest stunt. It's because of that, not just Trump, his enablers. Lindsey Graham pledged months ago to stand by Ukraine in its efforts to repel invading Russian military forces, voted against passing military aid. Right? He claimed he opposed the package because it didn't do enough to address the migrant crisis, despite the fact that they just killed their own bill on that. Someone wrote an incredible transformation that would have left his late friend John McCain aghast. Graham said backstage at an event that I moderated in 2016, he could not understand why the GOP didn't just kick Trump out of the party. Joe Walsh said no politician these past 8 years has emasculated themselves more than this one has. This man literally went to Kyiv 9 months ago and told Zelensky and Ukrainians with a straight face, I will continue to stand with and for Ukraine's freedom, and every Russian soldier is expelled from Ukrainian territory. He said until Trump tells him not to. I mean, that sums up the whole Republican Party.
Absolutely right. Not look, we all know what's going on here. Okay, Lindsey has completely changed ever since the announcement of his engagement to Tim Scott came out.
Thinking of you, you got to be happy about up your way there. New York 3, another Democratic win. George Santos' seat flips blue. And, people on the ground there saying it's because the Republicans can't govern because they saw them, shoot down their own border bill, which included money for Ukraine, right? I think people really see what's happening.
Absolutely. And let's just be honest. The guy who won was a moderate Democrat who is hardline anti-immigration because there's really big immigration problems in New York City right now, principally because of the governor of Florida and the governor of Texas shipping people up to New York City. So he ran on that platform, which would have been great for the immigration bill if the Republicans hadn't killed it, of course. So it's becoming clear that these hardcore Republican districts that George pathological lying Santos won that district by 7 points. 7 points, and now he lost it by 16, if I'm not mistaken. The Republicans are in big trouble, certainly here in upstate New York. Also, the courts ruled that redistricting plan that gave the Republicans 5 extra seats in New York was drawn up poorly, and that the Democratic House of Representatives here, the Democratic Assembly, is going to redo the redistricting. So it's going to go back to normal. We'll get those seats back. And, the chance of taking back Congress is very good now.
We're at 213 to their 219 as soon as, is it Sozi? Is sworn in. That there's three... There's 3 outstanding vacancies. So, Malcolm, it's already... And, again, Democrats are winning time and time again, despite the media's bull about Biden's age and God knows what. I mean, I feel like they're trying to deliberately drive you crazy. Is every subject, every book you've ever written, just all roads lead to Putin, right? I mean, it is just extra. Even for you, you had to be like, wow, he just said that out loud? I will encourage Russia to attack NATO countries? I mean, your thoughts.
Oh, yeah. And well, it's absolutely abhorrent. I mean, the man is a traitor at every level. And he's now saying the loud parts, the quiet parts out loud. He thinks that this will appeal to his base. Tucker Carlson and all the rest are wholly owned subsidiaries of Moscow. And, we're on the cusp of perhaps passing the aid for Israel and Ukraine, which both countries need. Ukraine needs that ammunition to defeat Russia. And they are all out there, shilling for Moscow, using Moscow's words. Trump, how many books did I write? 4 New York Times bestsellers about Donald Trump. Yep. And in the last one, which is about insurgency, where I'm seeing a lot more people talk about civil war now, really picking up steam. They think that this is something they can just go out to Walmart, buy some 22 rounds and a deer fence that they can sit up in the trees, and they're just going to pick the National Guard off. Yeah. And this movie that's coming out this spring on civil war in the United States, it's going to excite these people. And, Donald Trump is stoking that. He's stoking all this division. It's absolutely abhorrent.
So, okay, I don't even know where to start. Tommy Tuberville, we just brought up, says the U.S. forced Putin to invade Ukraine. I mean, he said, we forced this issue. We kept forcing NATO all the way to Eastern Europe, and Putin just got tired of it. He said, listen, I don't want missiles on my border from the United States. Dear God. Okay, he also was asked about the Tucker interview, and he said, well, you can tell Putin's on the top of his game. No. And he said of Ukraine, they can't win. It's not going to happen. Someone needs to negotiate. Donald Trump will have this over in a matter of weeks. Yes, as we keep saying, because he would just give Ukraine to Putin. I mean,
Tommy Tuberville, good God. I've never seen such a blatant traitor like that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all on board Moscow's campaign. We really need to find out how much money that they're getting from Moscow. There's no way they're doing this out of love for Putin. It could be love for Trump, because whatever Trump loves, they, the tribe, have to love 10 times more. But for Tuberville to say something as stupid as that, well, that would be par for the course, right? This is the man that damaged the armed forces by holding up promotions for almost a year, right? Deployments in other parts of the world. So, of course, Tommy Tuberville is going to say something like that. But they're all taking their feeds off of Donald Trump. All of this is because of Trump.
Yeah. So talk for a minute, because obviously you were just in Ukraine. Ukraine says that as evidence, Russia fired an advanced hypersonic missile, one expert say is almost impossible to shoot down for the first time in almost 2 years. Among other things, that would tell you that we are at a very critical juncture in helping Ukraine. What do you know about that, Malcolm?
Yeah, well, the thing about their advanced hypersonic missiles is that they tend to get shot down by Ukrainian air defense. I was in Kyiv when they tried to carry out 6 of their, Kinzhal, their Dagger hypersonic missiles, to destroy the Patriot battery in the middle of Kyiv. And the Patriot system, by the way, which is 50 years old, slaughtered that missile attack, just knocked them down left and right. But they need more missiles. They need extended range boosters. They need to do maintenance on those radars. They need the money that goes to U.S. defense contractors, right? That doesn't come to Ukraine. That goes to Raytheon when you're talking about, putting more PAC-3 interceptors into Ukraine's pocket, or repairing radar systems that are there. This is a boon for the American public. But if you were to listen to Donald Trump, and I just want to point out something. How old's that jingle that we did, that we can dance? 7 years old? 8 years old?
Still true.
Good God, no, it's more true this week. right?
Well, I mean,
Trump is under Putin's control.
Yep.
Well, Malcolm, every story, once again, GOP star witness in Biden impeachment probe has links to a Russian oligarch. The House GOP star witness in the oversight investigation into Hunter Biden turns out to be connected to a Russian oligarch. High-profile investor Tony Bobulinski has links to Russian billionaire Viktor Vekselberg, who's, of course, in your books. In 2017, he reportedly funneled $500,000 to an LLC run by Trump's former attorney Michael Cohen, supposedly with the intention of influencing the new administration to let Russia illegally occupy parts of eastern Ukraine. Vekselberg has been sanctioned more than once by U.S. law enforcement in regards to attempts to influence the 2016 election. And the nation's aggressions toward Ukraine. But Republicans are trying to ignore his links to Bobulinski. So he's going to appear about impeaching Joe Biden, this guy, right?
Oh, great. And the funny thing is, all of these people were in my first book about this, right? Plot to Hack America.
Yeah.
And I called them all the Kremlin crew, right? With 2 Ks. And it's just utterly amazing. They're all coming back. Anyone else when you were caught would have been shamed out of this. They really feel they're prepping the groundwork for Trump, lifting all the sanctions, pardoning everybody, and they are quintupling down on their malfeasance.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to me. Well, not really.
Well, and people that, obviously worked with Trump, John Bolton said, I think he will withdraw from NATO. I think you have to take what he's saying coming directly from what he has long been saying privately and in some cases publicly. He said one thing I know is true. He said, I think he made that conversation up. I think that's fairly typical Trump thing to do because it sounds very dramatic. I mean, so any story that's sir and tears in your eyes, it's Bolt.
Yep.
But he said people should not think that he's making up the point, though, about withdrawing, or he doesn't particularly care what Russia does to those who don't spend adequately on their own defense. This is exactly his view of alliances. They're totally transactional. If he's willing to knife NATO, he's willing to knife the relationship with Israel, with Japan, with South Korea. There's not a U.S. alliance out there that's safe with that kind of attitude. I mean, Malcolm, I don't even know if you can put into words the geopolitical threat that Donald Trump presidency presents.
Greatest threat to the political order since World War II in America is not Nikita Khrushchev, not atomic bombs, not the threat of nuclear war in 1961 at Bay of Pigs. It's a ex-president of the United States who has decided he is going to change democracy into a dictatorship. I was watching a video this morning by, one of these groups that goes around to Trump rallies, and they go, would you like Donald Trump as a dictator? And they were like, hell yeah, we want him as a dictator. These people don't care. This is pure tribalism. I am warning all of you, okay? Any one of you who is, especially anyone who calls themselves a single-issue voter, like on Palestine, okay, you want to see murder and chaos in Palestine? Imagine Trump letting Netanyahu have free 100% full reign to do anything he wants, including full-scale ethnic cleansing and mass murder. Donald Trump is down with that, all right? And he's not joking when he said his first hour he wants to deport everyone in this country using the army, which is against the law, right? Posse comitatus, to go around and round up citizens. You will have civil war from this. People will defend themselves, right? I mean, Jesus, this is just way, 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 way too much crazy.
By the way, can I stipulate that Biden is right, though? Netanyahu is an a-hole.
Yes.
I mean, Malcolm, again, I feel like it goes to the complexity of this situation in the Middle East that, I'm glad they rescued these, I don't know how many hostages it was, but how many Palestinians died in that operation? It's just, this is like, it's just a heartbreaking
I caution everybody.
Every day,
All right. I caution everybody not to take face value the word of a terrorist group on par with ISIS. Okay?
Yeah.
The Israelis went in there. I saw the video, and they hosed a lot of Hamas guys. Yeah. They killed a lot of Hamas guys to get in there. They had 3 buildings surrounding them that had Hamas members in it. They walked in. They killed 3 right in the room with the hostages. They rescued 2 hostages. But you're not going to leave the other 50 guys alive, all right? This is called war. And I know people get upset about it all the time, but you're only seeing little snapshots and vignettes of propaganda and other people's interpretations of things without not even context, without even knowing what happened. So, when you say, oh, I have people say, oh, they killed 25 guys, they killed 50 innocent civilians. Hamas are not innocent civilians. Hamas members are not innocent civilians. All right, they are terrorists, and this war is about rooting out the terrorists.
All right. Let's end on something we can all agree on, and that is that Elon Musk is also an a-hole. You said Elon Musk is a straight-up traitor who never embraced America, never understood its values of saving democracies like Ukraine, and sure has never loved anything but our money. Elon is a valueless toad who believes fascism and oligarchy of a Trump-Putin-dominated world gives him a chance to be a savior of Mars. You. Okay. Hashtag Space Karen. I just love that tweet.
That's F-U Space Karen. So,
go ahead.
Elon Musk has now come back out on Moscow's side, right? He's violating sanctions by allowing Russian troops in Ukraine to use Starlink. That's sanctions violations out there, and he seems oblivious to all of this. Now he's saying that Ukraine's killing 4 million Ukrainian troops will die. It's like, you live in an alternate reality. Look, he went to Israel. When he got to Israel, he flipped on what he saw there. He should try doing the same thing to Ukraine. But another guy, wholly owned subsidiary of the ex-KGB officer. God, he's stupid.
Yep.